So we're here at Finance Magnets in Old Billingsgate Market, London, November 15th, 2017. And I'm interviewing today Stephen Leahy. He's currently working with SHIFTMARKETS on their crypto platform. Tell us about what you're doing, Stephen, and what you're offering.
Thanks for the opportunity, Larry. So I work for Shift, used to be known as SHIFTMARKETS. We're switching the name to SHIFTMARKETS.
Okay.
I specifically focus on the crypto industry. There is obviously great interest in the crypto and digital asset space. That is the focus of my attention. Shift has created an offering that combines a digital wallet, a tradable exchange, some liquidity pools, some cold storage options, and really our primary offering at this point in time is a kind of started crypto brokerage package where we've given you a slice of all of the above, give you the full execution stack. However, what I'm so happy about being here in London for is the fact that it's not just start a broker. There are a lot more interesting questions and a lot more interesting opportunities that have arisen by being here at this Magnets event.
Okay, and crypto seems in the last 6 months to have undergone some kind of exponential explosion and still be somewhere fairly near to the bottom of the S-curve in terms of its potential. You referred to that earlier before we started. Tell us what you think about the industry as a whole, where it's at in its development cycle, and how it's going to affect the world.
So, at this point in time, I really kind of divide it into, and actually a gentleman named Rosario spoke eloquently to this on one of the panels earlier.
Right.
There are the primary digital assets that are known.
I interviewed him earlier as well.
You did.
Yeah.
There's the primary assets that are kind of out there. Bitcoin, Ethereum is actually a platform more than just a coin, right? But then there's all these ICOs coming out, and what Rosario really used, great terminology, there are utility tokens and there are kind of securities tokens. For me, I think the securities tokens are bound in history. Will look back unkindly on those merely raising money and not going through the IPO process. Some of the actual utility tokens have valid uses, and those are of interest to me, though not a primary focus. I do think.
So, give us some examples of a security or versus a utility
boy,
token.
I don't have any specific examples I can point to, other than the example would be, again, a usable token. If Google in 1995 had sold tokens, and each token is worth 20 click-throughs on their platform, right? So they're selling you not equity in their company, but they're selling you a tangible asset of click-throughs, which eventually at this point in time, a click-through costs a lot more than whatever they cost in 1995, and therefore the value of those tokens, those coins, would have therefore gone up. So that'd be an example of a utility coin, right? I think further at the moment, as blockchain technology takes over financial services, there's a lot of projects by big banks and brokers going on to automate the back end. I get that, saving money and time, validating some trust issues that historically have been a pain in the neck, and speeding up processes, very good. The blockchain digital assets, what's most interesting to me is the fact that, again, I'll differentiate Bitcoin from some of the other coins or platforms out there. Bitcoin I view as a value storing asset and a means of payment. Some of the other platforms like Ethereum and like Kik that are out there, they're actually developable protocols upon which the next version of the internet will be built. And so that's what really intrigues me in the big picture about blockchain technology. In the short run, the best way to apply my knowledge of the industry versus my newly found knowledge and interest in blockchain technology is here in the financial services sector.
Right, and just switching to a sort of topical subject about Bitcoin. 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I guess it was trading around 500, and now it's trading at 7,000 and something as of last
7,000, 8,000, 6,000, 7,000 again. Yeah,
and it was down to 3.5 a few weeks ago. So, where do you think this is? A lot of people, a lot of Wall Street Journal articles out there saying this is a bubble. Don't touch it. What do you think?
I'm not going to say it's a bubble or it's not a bubble. I will say this. As the recently announced Chicago Mercantile Exchange is going to offer futures, there's some options that are likely to be announced via the Chicago Board of Options Exchange that will so further validate Bitcoin as a asset, smooth out some of the volatility, I believe, allow some of the large holders of Bitcoin to hedge their positions without selling the underlying asset. I think that'll be a massive
And then bring it into the mainstream financial arena.
It'll be a massive increase in stability to Bitcoin specifically, but really the top 4 or 5 coins, which to me are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, Ripple, and maybe some of the offshoots of Bitcoin, such as Bitcoin Cash and or Bitcoin Gold.
Okay, and specifically coming back to the Shift Markets offering, what are your unique selling points? Why should whoever's watching this right now give Shift a call rather than going to one of many other companies that are now offering these products?
Valid question. The truth of the matter is there's a lot of firms offering a very similar technology to what we do. Shift has been around the block. I personally have been around the block maybe even longer than Shift has, and have been through the process of the FX industry growing from its nascent beginnings in 2002 in my case to where we are now in 2017. And so there's value in having been through that once. I think that a lot of the lessons learned and some of the paradigms of the FX industry and as it grew will be replicated in the crypto world. However, there'll be a massive time crunch. I think in 4 to 5 years, the crypto industry will mature as much as the FX world matured over 15 years. And so Shift brings to bear the knowledge and the history of having gone through that once before, the relationships with some of the premier liquidity providers, the affiliate conferences, and really we've been through the grinder with our clients of how to build a brokerage business.
Right, so it's basically, in one word, experience.
It's experience. The technology, as you say, there's a lot of people providing technology, and probably most of the technology is pretty darn similar. Experience comes for a lot, though.
Okay, well, Stephen Leahy, thank you very, very much for your incredible views today, and I wish you well in the block.
Thanks, Larry. Pleasure as always.
Industry.
The blockchain. I'll be out there if you need to find me.
Thanks, man. Take care.